Say a warm hello to Fiat's little ray of sunshine. It's Avventura crossover. Now, SUVs have been doing really well in India, and so have crossovers like the EcoSport. We even have cars like the Toyota Etios and the Polo Cross, which are basically hatchbacks dressed up to look like SUVs. This one, however, falls in between the EcoSport and the Etios and the Polo Cross. It's somewhere in between. We're going to get a first look at it. Let's see what it's like. With the popularity of SUVs taking off like the proverbial rocket, we've seen a deluge of wannabe crossovers invade our market. These half-car, half-SUVs, however, haven't made much of a dent. Whereas the Cross Polo and the Toyota Etios Cross are fairly attractive, both have failed to capture the imagination of the car-buying public. Fiat, however, with its Avventura, is hoping to change all that. Now, unlike the Etios and Polo Cross, which are just hatchbacks dressed up to look like SUVs, Fiat have put a lot of effort into this car. They've increased the space in the wheel arches quite substantially. There's a good 205 mm of ground clearance. You have these lovely roof rails, real ones, real aluminium. You can load them up. There's of course the cladding, and you get this SUV-like wheel at the back. Fiat really has made a big effort to make it look like a proper crossover. The nose of the car is thoroughly reworked too. It, however, looks the best from the rear. The big spare wheel cover is elegantly styled, and the scuff plate at the rear gives it a tough, go-anywhere look. And in fact, it has the same amount of clearance as an EcoSport or a Duster for that matter. What's also interesting is that the spare wheel actually sits in its own bracket, which you need to move out before you open the hatch. There's a fair bit of new stuff on the inside too. Most noticeable is the new tilt meter and digital compass. The lower portion of the two-tone dash is finished in a light grey suede material, and the door pads are made from art leather. The problem with adding an additional 65 kilos to the weight is that it might affect performance. Fiat's 90 bhp diesel isn't the strongest performer, but on this car, on the Avventura, they've given it a bit of a tune-up. Throttle responses are better, the turbo comes in much nicer, and you do enjoy driving it a bit. It isn't really quick, it isn't made a huge difference, but it's better. It is appreciably better. You do need to help the engine by using the slightly rubbery gearbox, but keep the motor spinning between 2 and 4,500 RPM, and it does feel reasonably enjoyable. The Avventura can also cruise comfortably at triple-digit speeds. But in an urban setting, it feels a bit more lethargic than the competition, especially at path crossings. Where it shines, however, is poorly surfaced roads. Rutted tarmac, broken tarmac, or absolutely no tarmac, nothing bothers this crossover. Fiat have always given us cars that ride well. Well-engineered chassis, good suspension systems, and this Avventura is no different. It has 205 mm of ground clearance, which is enough to allow you to ride roughshod over almost any surface. In fact, you only need to slow down if you have some really large craters. It is very pliant and very comfortable. Well, so much for the ride, which is really good. But what about handling with 205 mm of ground clearance? Doesn't it roll around a lot? Well, not really. You can push this car pretty hard and it doesn't roll around too much. In fact, it's even enjoyable to drive quickly, which is a bit of a surprise. The Avventura doesn't shift its weight around too much either, even when negotiating quick curves. In addition, the old-school hydraulic steering feels really accurate, and as a result, it's easy to tell what the front wheels are up to. There's a limited amount of body roll around bends, and what's even more impressive is that stability remains rock solid even when you drive it really quickly. The downside of the fat rubber, however, is that there's a bit more road noise that filters in, especially at highway speeds. They say the best products come out when you're hungry for success. And you can tell with the Avventura, Fiat has really put their heart and soul into this car. It looks fabulous. There's very little Grande Punto visible when you get up close and personal with the car. The interior is fabulously done. It looks like a proper crossover even on the inside. The car rides beautifully, even better than the regular products, the Grande Punto or the Linea. It has tremendous travel. It can ride over even the worst road. You can keep your foot down and carry on over it. It even handles well. It even drives pretty okay. And Fiat have improved the engine as well. So all in all, this is really a good package. Yes, the Avventura has its shortcomings. It isn't nearly as quick as you expect it to be. Legroom in the back on the rear seat is a bit tight. But if you're looking for a crossover, this one, the Fiat Avventura, is worth waiting for. The only thing is, they must get the price right. If Fiat place this car correctly, if they price it right, they make it attractive enough, we're pretty sure a lot of you will be interested. It really feels a little bit special, this car.